Your brains. I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love, accepting that you're real precious. You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, cause I get a lot of pleasure. And if you wanna test my style, you better have a whole lot of measure. Cause I'm a rock back chick, never tag along the never look back chick. Trendy, a little crazy, intelligently, singing rock back chick. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't wanna break no bones, I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, 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 good morning. I just want a microphone. Morning. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning viewers, welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. It's Wednesday the 1st of December 2021. We are into a new month and the countdown is on to the Tobago House of Assembly election come the 6th, Monday the 6th of December. Folks, we're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough and this is the Tobago Updates morning show. I'm Julian Skeet here this morning and
I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean, those of you viewing us on the live. Julian, good morning to you. It is a beautiful day. Rainy, but very cool.
Beautiful, very beautiful indeed.
Yes.
You know, and this morning for me, folks, is one of those mornings of reflection and celebration. And reflection in the sense that for me this morning, I want to take that time out. She's no longer with us, but today my mother would have celebrated a birthday. The 1st of December is always a day with mixed feelings for me, you know, and I really want to give thanks as I continue to live with that memory and that support that she has given over the years before she passed on. And as my father said to me this morning, don't worry, she's looking down and wants to continue to see the best for you. So this morning is about reflection for me and continuing to have that strength to go on. And you'd be very surprised, this morning is also about a celebration because my one and only Laverne Simon, we want to send out birthday blessings. It's a shared birthday today. So that's an interesting thing. They say probably God has God smiling at you. So I certainly want to take the opportunity this morning to send out birthday greetings to Laverne Simon from Lavian and I, and in fact the entire family. We continue to celebrate you, and you can look forward to great things this evening into the week and the weekend. And in that family, it gets more interesting. There's a second birthday that takes place on the 1st as well, and that's Pastor Richard Frederick. And let's send out birthday greetings from Vern Simon Frederick. That's Laverne's sister, by the way, and the entire family, all the children and the entire family celebrating December the 1st. So you see, it's a big time for celebrations. While I reflect, I also get the opportunity to celebrate and give thanks. Right? It's going to be an interesting week ahead.
But Julian, I'm not even sure what to say after all of this. It seems as though you and your clan have something, there's something special about the 1st of December. I don't know if you were drawn to the date, or the date was drawn to you. I don't even know what to think about it. But let me just say here that your mom was one of those persons, for anyone who had ever passed through, Scarborough Secondary School, back in the early 80s or so, 70s, 80s. Your mommy was one of those persons. I mean, we ran to for everything in the office. According to your tummy hurting, headache, things unexpected. Your mommy, okay? So may she continue to rest in peace. And to all of those celebrating that birthday today, happy birthday. Now, viewers, if Julian is late over the next few days, we will know why. We will know why, but I'm going to leave it there. All right, but Julian, a lot happening in the Tobago space. A lot happening in the Tobago space. Before we get into what's happening, let me just send a shout out to my aunt Esther Seals, who is finally in Trinidad. She came in just about 2 days ago from the US. Finally, after about 2 years, so she's here. She's home. Congratulations. Happy day, Auntie Esther Seals, back in Trinidad and Tobago. She's not in Tobago yet. And my cousin Jason Tweez Cumberbatch. Jason, good morning and welcome back home to Trinidad and Tobago. To my uncles Carly, Uncle Neil, Uncle Ray, and Uncle Edgar. A special good morning going out to these uncles in Trinidad this morning.
Ray, I think the greatest standout in the political space, has been, is there any other way to describe it besides a revelation?
When is your birthday? Please jump in. No, this is certainly, it was unexpected.
Very much
but
so.
I will say this publicly. Shamari Hector knows where he has come from, and he knows what has been revealed to him. And I believe that he had to do what he did now. Just a few months ago, I don't know if you can recall, just a few months ago, Reverend Michael Jr. George, the headline read that he was out of St. Lucia. He's actually a son of the soil from Lowlands, Tobago. Reverend Michael Jr. George made statements concerning the persons within politics, coming up for this, persons who had put their hands to politics for this upcoming elections. Actually putting their hands to evil. He made the statements, I think it was on some other media platforms, all right? And he made mention of this, and some persons, had a lot to say on it, but I do not believe that this is by chance. And then we have Pastor Roel Reed of the Open Bible Standard Churches of Tobago, the Tobago District, calling for that 3 days of prayer and fast, starting from today till Friday, leading up to the upcoming elections. But I don't believe Shamari is not going crazy. I do not believe Obia was worked on him, because we're hearing all of that. Oh, somebody worked Obia. No. Shamari got revelation, but I'm glad that, he was not focused only on he said, no, that's opposition behavior. But there are too many persons, I'm not saying where, but I'm saying too many persons are putting their hands to a wrong plow.
It speaks to, and I think you're very correct when you make this statement that I don't think anything is wrong with him.
No.
It just speaks to that kind of revelation that is coming forth, and it would be interesting to see what the next few days has to offer in terms of going forward. And on our lineup this morning, Rhea, we start, as expected, days before the election. We're talking politics. And who do we start off the conversation with this morning?
Well, Julian, we're starting off this morning with Keish Gibbs. Keisha's the IDA candidate for Mason Hall Moriah, and of course the focus again is on the outlook at the THA elections.
And we also have on the lineup Ian Pollard, the PDP candidate for Mason Hall Moriah. And Ria, this is a good opportunity for us to remind the viewers that the Tobago Updates morning show is open to all political parties. Right. We have opened ourselves to all, because I've gotten questions, why am I not seeing the others? You know what I mean? And quite simply, particularly
the PNM.
Yeah, and you have to ask them that, quite simply. But we are open to all political parties because we give you this opportunity to hear from your candidates directly. Also on the lineup this morning, we have the Montanos, talking about Montano Chocolate Company. So we're looking forward to that interview as well. And who do we wrap with this morning, Ria?
And we're wrapping up this morning with Athena Yearwood and Sophia Cooper. And it's all about the Tobago Day celebrations 2021. Now, it is the 1st of December. Today is Wednesday, the 1st of December. It is also World AIDS Day being commemorated, world throughout the world.
Yes.
So we want to remember those who have struggled, and those who have passed away, and those who continue to live and survive. You know, there was a time when HIV and AIDS was a death sentence. We lost our loved ones, but now we have more and more persons living with the disease and enjoying life. So,
and I like the fact that we actually have people who are dedicated to the fight. I remember very young, I met people like Miss Deborah and Michelle, persons who continue to ensure that there's a greater level of awareness.
That's right.
You know, in terms of going forward. Folks, we continue to encourage you. This is the Tobago Updates morning show. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Quartz Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Duke said he's willing to put up a fight to liberate Tobagonians and take the island to independence.
As the political leader of the PDP, we come down to negotiate our departure from Trinidad. We don't want Trinidad judicial system. We don't want that. We don't want to share no immigration. We don't want no air traffic control with Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. Constitution dissolves. There's no longer Trinidad and Tobago. There's Trinidad by itself, Tobago by itself.
Yes, yes.
That was a paid political advertisement.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
That was it last year that you wanted to resign from the PDP?
Last year, I offered the executive of this party my resignation.
You're on record as saying that you wanted to call it a day. That was it last year that you wanted to resign from the PDP?
I spoke about this several times, that at one I did not hand in a resignation. I told him that, you know, I was considering it.
Last year, I offered the executive of this party my resignation.
Because that is in the public domain.
Oh sure, and it's not the first time I spoke about.
You hear live?
I offered the executive of this party my resignation.
That was it last year that you wanted to resign from the PDP?
That at one I did not hand in a resignation.
Fali Augustine is a liar. He's a puppet of Watson Duke.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. In this segment, we continue to focus on the politics because this is the election season. Tobago House of Assembly election set for Monday, the 6th of December. That's Monday coming, 2021. And in this segment, we are chatting with Keish Gibbs, the IDA candidate for Mason Hall, Mariah. Good morning to you. Good morning, Keish.
Good morning, Julian.
All right. How are you doing this morning?
A little tired, but ready to go.
I suppose
Regular
that's natural in this season.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to start off for those who are not as familiar. Tell us a little bit about Keish Gibbs.
All right, well, I am a 28-year-old young man working, you could say, in different places on a regular basis. So the most of Tobago actually know me in different ways, different areas, different skills.
Right.
Yeah.
What would have been your motivation to make that decision to enter the politics?
Well, to be honest...
Or is it that you always saw yourself there at some point?
It's not necessarily seeing myself there. It's more about seeing what's necessary to do. Because sometimes it's a little hard to have regular conversations with people and they don't understand that you had to be impartial at some point. You have to forget about which party you're dealing with. You have to focus on what's important. Making a decision is not based on who in charge or who running things. It's about who making the right decisions. And sometimes you need somebody else to help along with making these decisions. Saying no to a decision and all too does help with a decision. You know, it's not, okay, we have to do this and we just doing this. It's just, we go in and do this. We're sure we want to do this. I don't think this making sense to do this. We could try something else. And we had to listen to each other and we had to work with each other, and that is what we need to do.
So you are particularly vying for a district, Mason Hall, Mariah.
Yeah.
And you know, in some instances, if I can recall too well, you know, from some of my friends and family that even lived up there and so on, agriculture is one of the things that's particular and of importance in that area. What can you bring to the fore? What are some of the things that you see needs to be done, particularly within the agriculture sector, that can help the residents of Mason Hall, Mariah?
Well, sometimes it's more on the lines of education, right? Simple assistance. It have ways that we can market we goods right here locally, and we don't have the right tools or we don't have the right understanding to use the equipment that we have. Not everybody could pull out their phone and take a picture and snap and share, and not everybody has time for that. So sometimes increasing that market, given simple little ideas like applying young people to do these things for them, it helps in building the market base, because everybody always hunting for some kind of bargain. Not just bargain, but quality. Mason Hall have the best dashing in Tobago and people don't even know that, right? And sometimes you just have to get the assistance from the right direction, from the right people.
From the right person.
Yeah.
So here's my follow-up issue on that. We're looking at Mason Hall, Mariah, and you know there's a prevalent issue across the board where, in fact, a lot of young people complain. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. During the regular year, a lot of young people complain about the fact that they don't feel like enough opportunities are made available for young persons. And I'm almost certain it's no different in the Mason Hall, Mariah area. What has been your experience on your walkabouts, in particular with issues affecting our young persons?
Well, one of the main things is that everybody's a tradesman. Everybody who have nothing to do at the end of the day is a tradesman. They have a skill. They could paint, build, carpentry, whatever, mechanic, everything. You could find anything in Mason Hall, in any human being in Mason Hall that live in there. And these guys really and truly barely have room to work because, all right, it have jobs available, but they don't necessarily know how to look for these jobs. And then it have jobs available in the public sector that they're not even opening as jobs. things that we've seen left undone. Masonall Primary School doesn't really get clean on the outside. Doesn't really get paint on a regular. Sometimes when they get in paint is one big project and they bring in people from outside. And this time, it's about 10 different painters right in Masonall who could come and do that. And it have more than one school. It had the high school, it had the health center, it had the community center. Simple buildings like that, the home for the aged. These kind of places, yeah, you have to be able to maintain these places, plumbing, electrical. It have the jobs available, but it not necessarily available. Because when you come now and you say, well, all right, I would like to find the person who in charge of this place so that I could apply to do the job or whatever. The Guinea wants it to run around. Oh, I'm not in charge of that. You gotta talk to this one. When you go by this one, I don't know about that. And it come like politics playing right there, just finding the job in the first place.
So should you be the successful candidate come December 6th, the night of December 6th, for Masonall Mariah, what's one of the first things that you will set forward as priority?
The first thing is actually understanding what is left in the treasury. Because really and truly, COVID is not that long ago, you know, it's almost 2 years fully. Early up this year, they're telling me that they don't have funding to do certain things, and for the last couple of days, all these things that they're saying they couldn't do, they're doing right now.
You mean and days or weeks or months?
Days.
All right.
I talking about days. I talking about big projects, days. Things that we are accustomed seeing taking 2 and 3 months to do it happening in days. Like we should have election every year or something, because everything getting done now. What going and leave back after the election? We ain't studying about COVID-19. We ain't studying about testing. We're opening schools and we're not testing students. We need to focus on certain important things right now and not necessarily building this building and building that building, because if it don't have people to use these buildings, it's a waste of time.
So you would say that that's part of the broad concern for the IDA, and not just you, in terms of really an assessment of where things are at financially for the Tobago space?
Yes, actually. The IDA, we somehow agree with different ideas. So where certain divisions are concerned, all we have to do is set certain priorities straight from now and go into the new year prepared for any kind of changes that could take place. Because we have a new variant. Well, I don't know if they really get much cases to say that it's close enough that we would have a surge from it. But at the end of the day, we still have to be careful. And COVID-19 is an issue. Children are to eat. Parents are stressed. School are to open back.
So we are in that countdown, days to the election. Tell me, what will the IDA do different? Because you know, people often say there's an excellent message when you're leading up to the the campaign, and then you are successful and you get into office and you wonder what happened. What happened? What will the IDA do different, guided by your leadership?
Well, it's not my leadership.
Well, no, your leadership in the sense of Dr.
Right,
Dinisoya
it's the
Fatangas.
leadership of Dr.
Correct,
Angus.
Dr. Angus.
Right. Now, with that leadership, the first thing that's going to happen is something that never happened before, which is regular consultation on every idea, on every decision. We have to expand the platform so that people could actually tune in with their phones and give suggestions, that we would have people working and monitoring and putting across. We had to continuously do this thing, because if we don't consult with the people, we wouldn't necessarily be giving the people what they want. And we need to explain, all right, this is the decision that we are making because we see that X, Y, Z is the issues, and we move forward from there. We need to satisfy the population's mind after we make a decision but not before we make the decision permanent.
Permanent.
Yeah.
All right. So as we prepare to wrap this morning's interview, I want you to say to all our viewers, that's at Tobago primarily, of course, but you're also talking to Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean region.
Right, right.
Particularly Tobago, come December 6th, why select Keish Gibbs, the IDA candidate, over all the others in Mason Hall, Mariah?
Well, I am the missing link in the politics. I am young enough to communicate with all the youths, and I am old enough to have respect for what the elders have to say. And that is what really important when it comes to making decisions and progressing the right way. Because sometimes you have to think on different levels. And when you're already seasoned, it's hard to change your mindset to suit something that's way after your time. It's not normal. And we had to give the elders the respect. They know what they're doing, but they don't necessarily know everything, because I don't even know everything.
All right.
Yeah.
So viewers, you have heard it there this morning on Tobago Updates. Thank you, Keish Gibbs. He has said it loud and clear. Whitey and Lawrence, he respects what you have to do and your contribution, but he is indeed the missing link. That's his message to the people here today. Thank you very much, Keish Gibbs, for joining us, IDA candidate for Mason Hall, Mariah, and all the best to you in the upcoming election. Viewers, at this point, we prepare to go to a break, and coming up in the next segment would be Rhea chatting with Ian Pollard, the PDP candidate for Mason Hall, Mariah. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
All you're looking for is this symbol. PDP! And I want that to be the message across the island. When you're going your polling stations, wherever they may be, from Charlottesville to Crown Point, all you are looking for is the bamboo bulife.
PDP for the win now. That was a paid political advertisement.
Morning, good morning, put a smile on your...
The following is a paid political advertisement.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Mr. Duke was officially charged on Sunday with 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. All charges were laid indictably, so he was not called upon to plead.
If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
Watson Duke is breaking the law, and had he been in another country, maybe in jail.
Their pension plan is not registered with the central bank. In another country, he would have been making a jail by now.
And send me back to the polls if I end up with people on my team who want to thief.
A High Court ordered audit of the finances of the Public Services Association has revealed overspending to the tunes of millions of dollars and other practices that are not in keeping with the constitution of the PSA.
You see the THA election coming back up, so we know what's in you going on thief with money again.
I want the listenership to understand something. Only 2 persons sign checks in the PSA. One is the primary signature of the president of the organization, which is Watson Duke.
And I wish rather that for across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We have a competition, so we say you can take a tongue, you can use a tongue, it looks totally hot. Take a look at that, real hot by opposed to it.
And I wish rather that for across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me. We have a bunch of Tobagonians who are sellouts, who are house slaves. If you are an honest politician, you must do something that is called a reflection.
While more workers have been sent home, but is coming from the quarter which fights against terminations, dismissals, and the like.
Today, the PSA's executive would have made a decision to send home 20 of its office staff. We will be running a very tight ship, a very hard ship.
And I wish rather that for across the region, across this country, that we have more politicians like me.
We want independence from Trinidad. We must have our own Prime Minister in Tobago. We want our Chief Secretary stupidness. If it wasn't clear to you, let me tell you this. What I'm asking for is secession. We need to move away from Trinidad. I hear them.
And so let's make some noise and thank our political leader.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting this morning with Mr. Ian Pollard, the PDP candidate for Mason Hall, Moriah. And our focus this morning, again, is on the elections, the upcoming elections. We've got 5 days to go. 5 days. Good morning and welcome to Ian.
Good morning, Ria.
Ian, it's good to have you on the program with us. This is the first time I think you're with us on the Tobago Updates Morning Show.
Yes, it's the first time.
All right. Ian, let's talk about the plans for Mason Hall, Moriah. Now, back in 1999, I know under the Hochul Charles-led administration, they met with stakeholders, WASA, TN-Tech, etc., and there were talks about decentralizing Scarborough. From what you have said in the past, these are some of what you have also on your agenda. Let's talk about some of the plans for Mason Hall, Moriah.
Well, some of the plans, not only for Mason Hall, Moriah area, but the north side, is that, we are lacking in infrastructure or basic needs. Because, like I said last night in one of my meetings, that we have lost 13 houses in Mason Hall in the last 4 years from fire.
Right.
So the people on the north side have to wait till a fire tender comes from Canby or from Roxborough to attend to any fires in our electoral district or the north side. So it's high time that the north side be paid us some attention, because we have been left in the dark or the wilderness for the last 21 years by this PNM regime.
No, you're not stranger to politics. You've been involved even in the background.
45 years.
45? You barely look 45.
I've started at age 10 as an activist.
Okay, very young.
Very young.
Very young. And so because of that, you are aware of the nature of Tobago's politics, which is very different. It's a different beast, a different dynamic on its own. Now, we're hearing all sorts of stuff in the public domain. I don't know if you have any comment to make as it pertains to Shamari Hector's comments. I'm sure it was on all social media platforms. Yesterday, Shamari Hector speaking out against obia and witchcraft within politics, within the PDP, within the PNM, and etc. etc.
Well,
no, he said the opposition. He said the opposition. So the PDP would be considered opposition to the PNM. The IDA would be considered opposition, unity of the people. You understand? So what are your thoughts on that?
But he also confessed that the PNM is also involved in
yes,
necromancy.
He did.
But we in the PDP, we are not of that nature. We are God-fearing people. We serve a true and living God. So if most people try to measure you by their own yardstick. So if that is prevalent in the PNM, that is not part of the PDP. I would not be part of the PDP.
Okay. I want to ask you here about we're talking back here about the decentralization of these of Scarborough and what you want to see for Northside. Let's talk about that.
Well, like I said, I started with the fire substation, an ambulance unit. But the north side also is needed enough of fuel station, because whether it be for electric motor cars in the future or petrol, but we need some form of a fuel station on the north side.
We need the completion of the same Moriah football field, where they've built for 21 years now, no pavilion. And
so has it been used? Is it, I mean...
The ground is being used,
right.
but there's no facilities for the footballers to change their clothes when there's a football game.
It's just the ground?
It's just the ground.
And nowhere to change, nowhere for persons to sit?
No,
right.
no pavilion. Also, the Mason Hall and Moriah Community Center has been the same since I was a little boy, even before I was born. There was no improvement. Everybody have multi-purpose facilities in their community. Mason Hall has none, Moriah has none. We have been the same community center that I born and met in Mason Hall is the same one that provides.
And let's just be clear here. Allow our viewers to know here, where does your electoral district start and end?
My electoral district starts just above Jackie Johnson. Everybody know where Jackie Johnson lives, in Concordia. The house is just above that. It starts there and it ends in not Cocoton, but Galera Point. That's just before you descend into Castara, the last house there, before the large landmass, empty landmass, the last house on the corner. That's where our electoral district ends.
Okay. So we're talking substation.
Ambulance unit.
Right.
Service station. Improvement of the community centers, and also the play field, and also the electrification and beautification of King Peter Bay Road.
Why is that significant?
It's one of the best beaches in Tobago. You have Cotton Bay, Big Bay. There's no electricity and there's no facility. In Moriah, I have about 15 fishermen with boats that has to dock in either Golden Lane or Castara. They cannot bring their boats to the closest point to their homes to offload their catch and distribute or sell to their customers. So it needs electrification. There's no electricity there. There's no water. So I met with the fisher folks there in January, and we came up with a plan. We wrote to the director of fisheries and former cooperative, and the guys started. So as soon as I did that, the holdover secretary went in and started having a meeting with the guys and them and wanted to do this and wanted to do that. But I'm saying that it is because of the 6-6 tie that the north side have been seeing any kind of work going on or started since after that 6-6 tie. So the fishermen have been languishing for years with no facilities. But all because we started talks with the fisher folks, then they are busy up and down trying to get involved to bring some kind of relief to the fisher folks in Moriah.
What would be one of the first things you would like to tackle should you be successful in this election?
Well, the first thing I'd like to tackle, there are some homes in Long Step in King Peter Bay Road, 189 steps, that the senior folks have to traverse on a daily basis, whether they're going to the doctor, whether they're taking their groceries home. And the land is slipping where there's a bridge to go across to access these steps. I see that they sent in workers yesterday to start the project.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
5 days before, 6 days before.
6 before the election, they sent in a Trinidad contractor to start the process. But that is one of the things that is in need, and that is one of the first projects that I would like to start, because a lot of people will not get access to their homes if they have this road to slip away. And now with the rains falling now, we know it will be in danger.
Okay. All right. What are people saying on the ground in terms of your community? Now, you can have plans, yes, but what are people saying to you? I know they call you, your home name is Whitey. So they say, Whitey, this is what we want. This is what we're not happy with. What are people saying?
Well, firstly, a lot of people are underemployed or unemployed. That's the first cry you hear. And one of the cries I heard recently is like mothers and grandmothers are appealing for computer literacy help because, they are stuck home with the children.
Right.
And have to assist them with these work online.
With Zoom
and they are,
and
yes, and they are
Google
not tech
Classroom.
savvy.
Right.
So they are begging that we utilize the community center to give them some form of training so that they could assist their kids, because a lot of the kids are falling behind. So that is one of the things that I would really like to address.
Now, you mentioned earlier a lot of persons are unemployed, and persons have really attacked this present THA for not providing jobs or not giving them jobs or giving them a work. Would you say that is true, that opportunities for a job, and I want you to be fair here, opportunities have not been given to the people of Tobago to have a job, to create jobs? I'm looking at here at all of the tertiary programs, all of the skills-based programs to equip persons with a skill to earn some income?
Yes, opportunities have been given. But you see, when these persons come out, to me it was a vote bank created by this administration. because everyone cannot work in the public sector. If the government had encouraged private sector development, you'd have found the burden coming off of the THA. But you cannot afford to employ everyone, because within my campaign last year, I had 11 persons in my electoral district with 112 subjects combined. There was a young man that campaigned me last year, 18 subjects. So these children are just going, educating themselves, getting more and more subjects, getting A levels, getting degrees, and there's nothing, so they're underemployed. I am saying, I'm a person coming from the private sector background. I own my own company. And it's high time that we started decentralize. It's high time we started encourage private sector development. And that is what balances, that's what makes a country work, that you must have a strong private sector to balance the public sector. And that is what this government, or this THA, has not done in 21 years. They have almost killed private sector development in Tobago. When the THA is doing everything, the THA is owning hotels, the THA is buying, you're not encouraging private sector development. And that is something that we, this PDP administration, must encourage. Because when you come back with your master's degree, you go on a contract. Most time they give you a 1-year contract or a 3-year contract, and you're $10,000. You know what it costs to get a master's degree? In the private sector, you will get a better paying job. So this is where we have to move our people away from having a government job. It's not always a government job. But you must be paid for your education, paid your worth.
All right. What would you like to say to the people of your electoral district this morning?
What I'd like to say to my people is go out early, because, observe the COVID health protocols and vote early, vote wisely, vote resoundingly for Ian Whitey Pollard and all the other 14 candidates of the Progressive Democratic Patriot. It's time. It's not only time for change, because you hear people saying that it's time for a change. It's not a change only. You deserve better governance. You need accountability and transparency, because you're hearing some overwhelming costs for some projects. No, that is unacceptable. Because when you steal from us now, the children of tomorrow has to pay those bills back. So it's time for accountability and transparency in the Tobago House of Assembly. So it's not just a change. It comes like when you're playing football. Some coaches make some changes on the 89th minute, 1 minute to go. No, it's not about that. It's about representation, proper representation, accountability, and transparency.
And now, YT, you're talking about this, but there's some who say, but your political leader has accusations out against him. Accusations out against him with transparency and fraud and...
The accusations, a man is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay. All right. And what are your thoughts very quickly here on the use of electronic devices for that day? Two electoral districts, being used as the pilot project here, for the use of electronic devices to be used at the polling stations to have real-time information.
Ill-advised at this point in time. If you have this technology, why not wait and give the constituents or the voters that time to digest this? You want to bring it on Tobago at least 1 week before. Why it wasn't said that? I mean, they sent a letter to our political leader on the 25th of October. But no, why don't they do it when the local election in Trinidad? Although they say it's a backup, there still be manual counting. But at these kind of things, we need proper notification. We need time to digest this. So I think the party's position is that is ill-advised. From my knowledge, the party has responded to Ms. Narcis's scope on our position on that electronic device.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ian Whitey Pollard, for chatting with us this morning, candidate for Mason Hall, Mariah. So some interesting plans coming out here from Mr. Pollard this morning, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ria.
All right, our pleasure having you on the program. Viewers, we go over to the good stuff, and in the good stuff this morning, massive congratulations going out to Tariq Hosford, who claimed the historic bronze medal for Trinidad and Tobago in the javelin throw yesterday at the Pan American Junior Games in Cali, Colombia. Brazil went gold with Pedro Rodriguez and Louis de Silva Louis de Silva got the silver at Tariq Hosford claimed bronze with a 71.35 through. So if you know someone or anything you would like to have featured on the good stuff, you can email us at info@tobagoupdates.com or call or WhatsApp 284-6597. We encourage you to share the live. Lots more coming up on the program. Share the live.
Whoa! It's the Quartz Black Friday sale. With the best-selling brands, best deals, and best offers all month long. You don't want to miss your chance to save on wow deals. Save on smart TVs, major appliances, furniture, bedroom and dining, with lots more to choose from. Shop today with Courts Ready Finance and pay nothing for 90 days. Don't miss this Black Friday sales event. Only at Courts, bringing value home.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
I place in the center of this meeting tonight the proposed Scarborough Waterfront Development Project, and you can see it on the screen. We have already put aside $60 million for the start of this project. Already, we have secured over $37 million through the IADB investment. And so we have been developing the plans and we have been finalizing the rollout of this plan that will see for the first time a new and improved Scarborough. What does it include? It includes a new boardwalk. It includes a parkade, an upgrade of the Scarborough Esplanade. There is going to be a marketplace. There is going to be a food court. And when I talk about food court, I'm talking about restaurants, I'm talking about bars, I'm talking about cafes, and I'm talking about entertainment spaces. The new Scarborough will be digital. Remember, we are talking about technology and taking Tobago to a new height. And so we will have information booths, and those booths will talk about the history and cultural norms and ways of life of our people. And so the project will be solar powered. Drainage and infrastructural work will be in place. And most importantly, there is a start date, which is January 2022, immediately after the Christmas season has ended. And with that project, we will be able to create more jobs, over 200 jobs. With that project, we will be able to encourage entrepreneurship, because we are talking about restaurants, we are talking about bars. With that project, we can go to them on the international market to say that we are moving Tobago in the right direction. And with the airports completed, with the hotels coming in, we are expecting to see more tourists come into the island as well. And with more tourists, there will be more flights. So the flights that I talk about from the Scandinavian countries and from North America, they will come because Tobago's product is being developed. And this is what our people would want to see. And so this 18-month first phase project will see a Scarborough like we have never seen it before.
Take no chance. Protect your future. On December 6th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political advertisement.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Think about the poor health care and jam the X in. Think about the poor educational system your children have to face with. Jam the X. When you think every time you can't go down in a pothole, jam the X. Every time you think that you are poor and you're needy and the food card flying elsewhere because you are perceived to be of a certain other color, certain other political loyalty, jam it. Put it right up inside.
PDP for the win now.
That was a paid political advertisement.
That was it last year that you wanted to resign?
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning,
viewers. It's 7:44 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment, we're happy to be chatting with the Montanos about the Montano Chocolate Company. Do we have the Montanos online? Elizabeth Lady Montano and Marcus Montano?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, good morning. Good morning. it's important for us to say welcome to Tobago via this virtual interview.
Okay, I'm not hearing them very clearly. I'm not sure if they're hearing
us. So let's just try the audio again. So Marcus Montano, just go again first. You're hearing us clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, excellent. And Lady Montano, Elizabeth Montano, are you hearing us clearly?
Very clearly.
Excellent. All right. So this morning we're chatting about the Montano Chocolate Company. Give us the sense of what was the inspiration to move in that direction. And I know particularly now there's a rebranding happening.
Okay. Well, in 2014, we started came from Julian Goddard, who came to us with projects so that we could in our store that we had at the airport. So we did it, but when she came, it was just about Valentine's Day, and we were going to day to Valentine's Day. So I suggested, why not let's take a chocolate? And we did, and we sold it at National Monday, and it was quite a success. After that, we decided that we would make our own chocolate to our store. We did, and it was successful. So we worked with that chocolate for about 4 years before forming our own company, which is the Montano's Chocolate Company, which is made up of sweet chocolate and from the company we are doing our own making of our own chocolate in our factory. Because behind
Okay, now I am particularly interested here, Lady Montano, particularly interested in where you get your cocoa, because I know that Tobago has the best cocoa. So tell us where you get where do you get the ground ingredients for your chocolate?
No pressure at all.
Well,
actually, right now we purchase our cocoa basically from the La Reunion, which is the Tamina Valley.
Okay.
What happened is that was chosen by Gillian Goddard. So in order to maintain our flavor profile, we've been back there. But once it's Trinidad and Tobago. It's one love.
That's right.
So tell us particularly about we are told that there will be a launch of some new products and a new look in particular. Just give us a little more into that, because I think we're seeing some shots on screen and I want to suspect this is the factory in operation.
Yes, this is actually our new facility, our factory. Yeah, what happened is we have if you've ever seen our old packaging, it was award-winning art design done by Practice. And what we've done now is we're really trying to brighten up the act a little bit so we stand out on the shelf. So when you see us, you know that is us and that's us coming. So we have created this factory. It will be, the new look is also part of the fact that we are now making our very own chocolate. So it's a new expression, and that's all part of the new look, the new marketing design, the aggressive marketing that we're doing right now.
All right. Lady Montano?
Yes, I'm
here. Yes, in particular, it's not possible to have an interview to speak about the Montanos and not talk about Marshall. So you have specialized in the entertainment world, and therefore now you are looking very broadly in terms of the chocolate industry. Any links in between there that we can get? We might see some potential of Marshall in some of the mix with promoting this chocolate?
Has promoted because brand ambassador. But it isn't only about him. It's a 3-generation. We have the operation where the Chaka. Then we have one of Michelle's sons working in the factory and then we have a sister with study area and then my who is our broadcast. And as we say, one of our taglines is, let's see what happens when Soka meets Coco.
Very nice. Lady Montano has lyrics, man.
Let's see what happens when soca meets cocoa.
Excellent, excellent.
Quite interesting. Any plans, in fact, tell us, we want to know a little bit more about the chocolate itself here. Marcus, maybe you can give us an idea in terms of the flavor. Are there any plans to introduce maybe local fruit? You know, we have fruit and nut in some brands. What are your plans?
Okay, well, right now our chocolate is a 60% chocolate bar. The ingredients will be just chocolate nibs, cocoa butter, and we use demerara sugar, right? We do have plans to also expand into the cocoa butter market and also the cocoa powder market. That's just to start with.
Okay.
Right now we have a lot of collaborations going on. We'll be looking at a lot of surprising stuff that we're not really ready to reveal, but it will be coming out shortly. They have some plans for Christmas, and then we have, of course, the New Year with the rebranding, and also into Valentine's. So we have a lot of plans. We have a lot of new and exciting things happening. Within the group, we have a new injection of talent. Everybody has these ideas, and it's all coming together, and you could expect really good things from us.
Okay.
Marcus Montano, as we prepare to wrap the interview, where can persons find this chocolate in Tobago?
Okay.
Lady could better answer that.
I hear Lady ready fit. Not a problem. You go ahead, Lady Montano.
We are very far, right? So you can find us in Canby and Apple. So that anytime you're ready for your chocolates, you go there and they will be available for you.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. And very quickly, I wanted to ask here, has the pandemic affected the production, the chocolate company's production at all?
Well, what was amazing, actually, we started the factory and training because we all had to learn to make the chocolate. We started it just prior to the pandemic. So it did slow us down a bit, but I guess with the introduction of technology and the internet, we were able to carry on. With the lockdowns, of course, getting equipment, most of our equipment was from abroad. We have equipment from Italy, we have equipment from Korea, we have equipment from South America and North America. And with that, we had the challenges. It was challenging, I must admit, it was very challenging. But again, it also highlighted some of the improvements that we could make. And we kept some of those innovations, even now that we run the company, because of the challenges we faced in the pandemic and how we overcame those challenges. We now apply them so that we are always pandemic ready, basically, and operating on a nice thin line.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for that. Thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. Sorry, I think Lady Montano was just in the middle of saying something. I'm not sure if we
missed it.
She's back? Yes. Sorry, Lady Montano, you were saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to conclude that in the pandemic, we were still able, ministry and industry, and Forty assisted us in preparing to set up the factory and also to trade. So that's why we received from we were able to purchase the garment where we did 50% of the funding and
all right.
Okay.
So
thank you so
as we
much.
close, remind us of that tagline: "Soca meets."
See what happens.
Soca meets cocoa. Thank you very much to the Montanos and all the best with this venture. And I particularly admire the fact that Lady Montano continues to keep her team, the Montano family, going. That kind of family spirit and that togetherness. Folks, in the next segment, we head over to Devon Adana with This Day in History. Devon Adana.
Good morning. This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on this day, December 1st, 2000, the headline read, "New Ferry at Last"? According to the Tobago newspaper, 21 years ago today, It was reported that a second ferry would begin operations on the sea bridge between Trinidad and Tobago that following week. The then Port Authority Acting General Manager, Rommel Charles, stated that the then new ferry, the Beauport, would make scheduled sailing 7 days a week, while the MF Panorama would sail as necessary. The Panorama was to go on much-needed dry docking starting January of the following year, 2001. The Tobago News article further stated that the Beauport came with a crew of 40 and would employ 30 to 40 TNT nationals. This did not meet the satisfaction of the then SWWTU President Francis Mongru, who sought a 100% local crew in the ferry's employ. The ferry had 150 cabins and a capacity to carry 1,000 passengers, 225 cars and a large quantity of cargo, and could have made the voyage between the Port of Spain port and the Scarborough port in less than 5 hours. The ferry was chartered to the tune of 14,000 USD, and the entire 6-month engagement was estimated at 15 million USD, including a mobilization fee of 175,000 USD with a similar demobilization fee at the end of the 6-month charter. This is Devon Adana. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. Back to you guys in studio.
Because we're still talking ferries,
Yes.
even now.
21 years
Even
later.
now.
So 21 years ago, and now I think just about last year or so, we got two new ferries.
Julian, I
That's
wonder how
right.
many. Devon, how
But
many
what was-
ferries? Go ahead. You go ahead, Devon.
I was just saying what was interesting about it is this was kind of the first that we're seeing Tobago have 2 ferries as opposed to just the one,
Yeah.
which was Panorama.
Wow, we have seen so many ferries pass through our ports between Trinidad and
Yes.
Tobago over the last few years. Wow. Thank you so much,
Devon,
Devon.
I don't know what Rhea is trying to do there. You and I haven't seen as much as Rhea. She trying to date us or something? She giving trouble. She giving trouble this morning.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
you take care, Devon.
All right.
All right, so Julian,
We're going straight ahead.
you're a naughty boy this morning, so we're forging ahead. Now we're talking Tobago Day celebrations, Julian. Yeah.
Yes, and of course the significance of it here in our Tobago space, moving from what was then Assembly Day and now into the Tobago Day. And we have online with us Sophia Cooper, a member of the Tobago Day Committee. Good morning and welcome, Sophia.
Good morning. How are you all this morning?
We're doing quite
Doing quite
well.
good, doing
It's
quite
to
good.
see you.
Great.
All right, so as we're chatting this morning, we want to get a sense in terms of the significance. What's the significance of Tobago Day, and those for our viewers joining us in Trinidad and Tobago and the region at large?
So Tobago Day 2021, the theme is realizing our resilience. And that's important for us to remember because we're celebrating 41 years. And every time we have the opportunity in Tobago, it's about recognizing those things that make this island and the people who live here quite unique. So for Tobago Day, and some persons would remember at first it was called Assembly Day. And at the time, the secretary was Mrs. Cordia Gumduke, who took the motion to the House to have it changed from Assembly Day to Tobago Day. And that's why we had the name change, to better represent the importance of this celebration, that it's not just about the THA as an institution, but about everyone, each individual on this island. And as I said before, it's about recognizing those things that make this island and our people unique.
Unique. Rhea, I think, we have a little historic moment happening here today. I see joining us as well the chairman of the Tobago Day Committee, Ethne Yearwood. And anybody on that committee would tell you, if you worked with Ethne through education and over the years, she's the one that does all the hard work in the background and sends somebody forward. But she's here this morning on Tobago Updates.
Front row seats. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a pleasure
to have you on the program with us.
Thank you.
Tell us what's happening in the background now. Sophia was able to give us an idea of the name change and what it signifies, that it's all about Tobago and not just the Tobago House of Assembly. So give us a little more insight into what will be happening.
Okay, so let me just give a little, let me just back up a little bit and talk about what led us to where we are today. in 2018, the then Chief Secretary, he instituted a new committee to deal with Tobago Day activities because, as you know, in the past we were Assembly Day. When the divisions in the Assembly, they would showcase the products and services offered by the divisions. And so in 2018 was the first day that the Tobago Day was actually held, where we had, it was like a trade show, a brand expo at Shaw Park facility, where we showcased the divisions as well as various businesses, and they were able to interact and face-to-face network. That event was so successful that the following year it remained on the calendar, but we outgrew the space at Shaw and we went into a new space at Muku Integrated, and we did a grander expo where more businesses were involved, more activities could have been done. We even culminated that year with sport. We brought back the Sport and Family Day celebration. Let me just change my hat from chairman of the Tobago Day Committee to education and just remind tourism who holds that trophy and held it for the last 2 years. But that trophy belongs to the Division of Education. But that being said, let me go on. Let me just let you know about what's happening now. The pandemic has restricted us. This year we are not only challenged by the pandemic, but we also have the issue that the Tobago House of Assembly election will also be held 2 days after the Tobago Day itself. And so that in itself presented a bit of a challenge, but nonetheless, the show had to go on because the Tobago Day is an institution, the Tobago House of Assembly is an institution, and regardless of what is happening, Tobago Day is going to be celebrated.
Ms. Yearwood, the week would have started on Monday. Just give us a sense of what can we expect, what took place on Monday, and what's upcoming in particular.
Oh yes. So on Monday we kicked off activities with Thanksgiving service. The Thanksgiving service was an awesome, spirit-filled, spirit-led activity. Our chief administrator reminded us that an attitude of gratitude gives us altitude. And so a Thanksgiving service is a must on every calendar, on the calendar of Tobago Day. We were blessed and inspired by Reverend George and all the voices of all the various divisions, as well as Pastor Baines. He also performed on that day. If you missed this activity, you can log on to our Facebook page, the Tobago Day Facebook page, as well as Office of the Chief Sec Facebook page, and review it. It was wonderful indeed. But the activities continue. My co-presenter will speak to the debate and the quiz, and there are 2 other activities that I will film you.
So we go to Sophia Cooper. Tell us about this debate and the quiz that's upcoming.
Those of us who've been following the Assembly legislature over the years, they're quite familiar with us having a debate on Tobago Day. But this year, the 4th of December is a Saturday, so we're holding that debate on a Friday, which is December 3rd at 1:30 p.m. right here at the chamber. So persons can tune in online. What is different about this year is that the debaters are from the Tobago Youth Assembly. So we often have students participating, or a mix of students and seniors. And in this edition, we have the Tobago Youth Assembly, young people falling within that national age brackets that defined as youth. So we do have a couple of persons under 18 and a few persons just over 18. So when they come in, it's actually a continuation of a year-long program that they have been having. The significance of having it this time around is that connection to, remember the theme, realizing our resilience. And this is really taking a step in the direction of youth in governance and ensuring that we have a youth voice in whatever we do. So that is happening on Friday at 1:30 p.m. That's December 3rd. We do have my first speech and a virtual quiz. Now remember, I mentioned involving students and seniors. And because of the pandemic, we had a couple restrictions in terms of participation and training and so on, but we didn't want to leave anybody out. So my first speech is when individuals create a presentation based on a topic that we give them. So rather than coming in for a debate, they create their presentation, they film themselves, and they send it in to us. And that is a competition that we're having this year. We've held it before in the past. The difference is that this year we've included a category for seniors, a category for adults, one for adolescents, and one for children. So everybody is covered in that competition. And then finally, we have the Tobago Day virtual quiz. Now, if you think you know everything about Tobago, this is where you'll discover whether or not you really know. So the virtual quiz will be launched on December 4th, which is the actual Tobago Day. Persons can log on to our website. We'll post the links on our social media pages. And you have 41 hours in which to log on, fill out the answers, and send it to us. Now, 41 hours is significant because it really reflects the number of years that we're celebrating. This is our 41st anniversary, so that's significant for us.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Miss Yearwood and Miss Sophia Cooper.
And you know, Ria, I always have to put in a plug. I'm an advocate and a strong supporter of youth development. Both Ms. Yearwood and Sophia knows that. And certainly I really want to commend the work that has been happening. And I know the week closes off on Saturday with the awards, Tobago Day Awards.
Correct.
So certainly looking forward to that celebration. And by the time it's done, Ria, after the 41 hours for the voting for the competition,
quiz,
we head to the THA elections on Monday morning at 6 a.m. So commendations again to Ms. Yearwood, Chairman of the Tobago Day Committee, and a member of the Tobago Day Committee, staff of the Assembly Legislature, Sophia Cooper, and all the best. I'll certainly be there at that debate.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
This morning, Tobago, thank you so much for joining us at Trinidad, Caribbean, wherever you're logged on from. We thank you for joining us today. We encourage you, stay safe on the island's roads. Be safe, wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance. Be see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.